Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Everything Horror Podcast with your host, Paul Doski.
And Tessa Baker.
And we have an amazing interview here. We've been trying to do this for maybe a month and a half, 2 months. I don't even remember anymore because it's life. We all have life, and that's just life. So anyway, today we got a special guest with us. You may know his Halloween music as Shadow Symphony, and this is none other than the man behind the mask of Grant. Grant, please say hi.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So, Grant, before we start getting into questions, which, by the way, we have lucky 13 questions, so we got 13 good questions for you. But,
right on.
Would you be able to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Since I was a kid, I have been fascinated with Halloween. I always wanted to be able to contribute to Halloween in some way. And I started music at 4th grade, and from there I started doing sound effects and recorded them old school on tapes. I don't know if everybody remembers tapes, but that's how I did it. And started going to haunts then, right out of high school, and knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. And since then, I have been doing custom sound effects for haunted attractions and writing music. And it's been an absolute blast doing that. So it's been an amazing journey of writing this music, doing these sound effects, and just being a part of something that I've been into since I was a kid.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So, Tessa, is there anything you want to add before we continue?
No, I mean...
Is there anything else, Grant, that we should know? Like, is there, a secret monster living inside you that's telling you how to write?
I don't...
Your muse?
I don't even know.
You don't even know. You just kind of go with the flow. That's just the way it should be. So, well, here's a little fun fact about me, Grant. So, this year I'll be turning 30, but I will also be turning 30 on Friday the 13th in October.
Nice.
Yeah, and then my girlfriend here, she didn't have Friday the 13th this year, unfortunately, but her birthday was this past Tuesday on June 13th, so...
But I was actually born on Friday the 13th.
Dude, that's all. You guys already have a better story than I do.
Well, isn't it kind of weird how, me and her found each other, too, then? Which is another crazy story. Me and Tessa here, we met each other because one of our friends did photography, and one of her photo sets she liked to do is called Faces of Death, which is, the known popular, gruesome tapes, too, that you can watch on the internet. But I'll let Tessa tell the rest of the story.
So, Paul and I met one day when they were, like you said, they were shooting the Faces of Death, and I was a new client. Our friend Allison, she's a photographer for the company called Variant Vixens, and I was one of the new vixens, and Paul's one of the male
Foxes,
male models called Foxes, and I was coming in to do a photo shoot with Allison, my first photo shoot, and I had met Paul there, and they were originally going to do Paul's death scene outside, and then they switched it to being inside because it was rainy, and so they said, well, why not in the bathroom, in the bathtub? And then they're like, now we just need someone to murder you. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. Let me do it. And Paul, I used Paul's fantasy axe, battle axe, as the murder weapon to kill him. And there was blood all over the place, and he was laying in the bathtub covered in this fake blood, and my hands were all bloody, and the axe was all bloody, and it was beautiful. It was like a great first meet.
So you should kind of be If you could only see what other people's reactions are when, like, we tell that to people, how when we first met, they're like, okay then.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're known as the creepy couple.
Yeah, we're pretty much known as the creepy couple.
We actually have one of the photos from the photo shoot framed on our little wall of pictures that we've taken with each other, kind of like our little memory wall.
Nice, I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit of a story of how me and Tessa came to be before we started dating. But yeah. Anyway, let's go right into the 13 questions, shall we? So
right on.
We got 13 all over the place today. Anyway, so we got you. Your first question, Grant, is what got you into horror?
You know what? I honestly, man, that's a tough question. Like I said, since I was a kid, watching all the old, like, Looney Tunes, Halloween, and Garfield's Halloween, and Peanuts Halloween, you know, all that stuff. I don't know. It was just something about Halloween that really drew me in, that I knew I had to be a part of it.
Maybe it could have been the history behind Halloween. You never know. Never know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, as a 5-year-old kid watching this stuff and taking it in, I just was mesmerized by it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So what type of, like, horror soundtrack do you listen to?
You know what? Halloween, the movie, you know,
yep.
that piano is so, like, incredible.
Agreed.
And listening to the Screaming Strings with Friday the 13th, just amazing. So listening to that stuff, and, like, even, you know, Psycho with the strings, those really harsh strings, that was something that really drew me in, and has definitely had, like, played an impact on how I write music.
Very cool. You can continue, baby.
What inspired you to write your music?
It actually started, it was something I always wanted to do, but I've always played in a lot of bands, and a buddy of mine had joked about how I could never, you know, write a CD on my own, and I was like, okay, well,
we proved them wrong then. Just gonna
I will take you up on that, and the goal was to write just one CD, and that was The House in the Mist, and wrote 21 songs for that, and knocked that out, and I was like, wow, this is something that I really, really like, and people seem to like it, so I kept going with it, you know. I'd always been a fan of Midnight Syndicate, like, huge fan of Midnight Syndicate.
Ooh.
And now it's been an amazing journey that I'm writing this music that they also write, and now I am amazing friends with Ed and Gavin. Like, it's...
Oh, wow.
It's cool. I was able to go up with my ex-wife now and film for their live show and be part of that. And that was just a lot of fun.
Very nice. Very nice.
How did Shadow Symphony come to mind?
Shadow Symphony came to mind. I was at work one day, and I'm trying to think. I have all these songs under my belt, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got the songs. Now I need a name. I need a logo. I got to figure this out. And one of my sisters is really, really artsy, and I threw the name out to her, and she's like, no, I would never use that. And then I knew immediately that I had to use that.
Yep. Yep, that's amazing. So, since you just mentioned The House in the Mist, so this question is, how long did it take you to write and record The House in the Mist?
because I had to, I knew I wanted to go to conventions. I was being invited to conventions even before I had The House in the Mist finished. I wanted to go with at least 2 CDs, so I wrote The House in the Mist and Threshold of Forgotten Souls within a year. So I literally did nothing but go to work, write music at work, come home, and write more music. So I had House and Threshold knocked out within a year.
Very cool. Very cool. So the next one is, which I know you and me were just talking about this before the podcast. So unfortunately, here you go again with repeating yourself, but that's okay.
Right.
But yeah, the question is, what companies could I or the listeners buy your music?
eBay, you can buy physical copies, and then, of course, Amazon, iTunes, all those digital sales, we're on those.
Alrighty.
You take photos for your artwork?
Say that again?
Do you take the photo for your artwork?
Yeah, do you take the photos for
absolutely.
your artwork?
I keep everything in-house. I have 2 friends that do photos and graphic design for me. So the first CD was The House in Mist, was a really cool mansion that was down the road from me that we took pictures of. And then Threshold was a really cool looking church that we took pictures of. Fairvale was a mansion that I always wanted to own as a kid that was down the road from me, and we took pictures of that. And then number 4 was probably the most fun. We had the whole lighthouse and ghost ship thing.
Oh, that's the Beneath the Dark, yeah. I think that's what it's called.
Yep, it is. Beneath the Dark was a lot of fun to shoot because I went down to my creek out back, and I had bought a model lighthouse, and I used hair ties for extra layers on the lighthouse to make it different. And then we also bought a little model ship and had that floating in the water and took those pictures and had a lot of fun with that. And the last CD that we had was, a picture of my house.
The Winters one? Oh man. Winters something? I'm trying to remember right now. Oh man, why am I having a brain fart right now? No, that's not it. That is not it. Come on. Winters. Come on, you stupid thing. Come on. Winter. Is it like Desolate in Winter or something? Oh, Desolate Horror. There it is.
Desolate Horror.
Yeah. That one?
That's it. Desolate Horror.
That's your house? Damn.
That's my house.
Holy shit. I'm kind of jelly on that.
That's a nice house.
No,
oh, thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. Cause that almost looks like a house that me and Tessa here were talking about, like a place out in the woods, away from society, kind of like saying like, yeah, this is the life. So.
Yes.
It was inspired definitely because of Friday the 13th and Evil Dead. Like, that's why I bought this house. And I always wanted to use this as something for a CD. And
nice.
It just happened to turn out I came home late from work one day, and we had a shitload of snow. I just had to take a bunch of pictures, and that was the CD cover.
Okay. Well, this question might continue that last question we were asking about if you take your own photos, because it goes, how do you decide on what to shoot for an album cover?
I always start writing music first, and then I kind of think of where it's going. And that's kind of how I decide. Like, I'll write, like, 2 or 3 songs, and, like, Beneath the Dark was so much fun to write. I knocked that album out in 5 or 6 months. I went down to Florida. There's an island, Sanibel Island, on the Gulf side, and I just sat on the beach with my laptop and just wrote songs on the beach for that. But
cool.
I've never knocked out songs so quickly.
Well, it sounds like something was inspiring you back then to make you write. So
yeah, you had a muse.
Yeah.
It was amazing. You know, you just get in your head and you're like, okay, there's a ghost ship out there. You know, I can see the lighthouse, and just writing that on the beach was pretty surreal.
Well, I don't know if you ever travel that much, but, like, if you ever were to come to Vermont, where me and Tessa are, we actually have a place that up in Burlington. I think it's Burlington, so bear with me on this news because I could be wrong. But anyway, to my knowledge, it's Burlington because it's where Lake Champlain is. And there's actually 2 stories there about, one is a ghost ship, and then the other one, of course, is our famous Loch Ness Monster, Champ.
Nice.
So, yeah, just to kind of give you a little bit more history about our thing. Like, we have a lot of ghost stories here and stuff. So maybe one day you could, like, get some inspiration from us to write something.
That'd be awesome.
That would be.
I know my next endeavor is definitely like an abandoned drive-in movie theater, like the old school Americana thing.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Which Tessa was actually yelling at me once, and she's like, "You've never been to a drive-in movie theater?" I'm like, "No, because we don't have one here." But
so I'm gonna have to, like, take him to one this summer because he's never been. So we're just gonna have to find, like, a movie that we both want to see, and then just go to the drive-in and just do it and get it out of the way.
Or we could always do, like, what we found the other day: watch Jaws on the water.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, watch Jaws.
Jaws on the water is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would really get you into the movie. Like, oh shit, I'm watching a killer shark. I'm on the water right now. This is gonna end badly. Yep. This is amazing.
You have 6 albums now. Which one or ones are your personal favorites?
That question, man.
You're welcome.
I would have to say, honestly, I think Fairvale might be my favorite, but I think Beneath the Dark is my most accomplished. Just because you have really fast, you know, high-paced strings and percussion, and you also have what Shadows is known for, like the very slow, melodic, atmospheric stuff. I think Beneath the Dark is my most accomplished.
Nice. I can agree with that. I mean, I don't know what Tessa could say because I know I just barely introduced her to your music last year, I think it was.
But already, from what I've heard, I very much like it, and I can't wait to listen to the rest of the albums that you have.
I tend to, for me personally, I think I always tend to go back to the Funeral Parlor one, or I think Beneath the Dark. It's either that one or House of the Mist. I don't remember.
Yeah, there's something about Fairvale Funeral Parlor that is just so melancholy. Like, I love that CD.
But I'm you can even tell, ask Tessa here, I am a big guy when it comes to piano and keyboards. Like, if you can knock off, like, a really good piano or keyboard thing, yeah, you got me hooked. Like, there was one song that you did, which is, I believe, off the, the Grandeur one there, the
Forsaken Grandeur, yeah.
Yeah. What the hell is the track? I think it might be, the, like, No Sleep or something. Hang on. What is it? Come on. Unsettled Sweep. I think it's that one. I think it's that one. You might have to help me out here, but I want to say it's Unsettled Sweep.
Unforsaken Grandeur.
Yeah, for the Forsaken Grandeur. Yeah. I think you got like a piano thing going on near the middle of the song or near the end of it, and it like very kind of started, but it never really took off. I think it's that one. Do you remember that one at all, Grant?
I'm not even sure.
Like I said, I want to say it's Unsettled Sweep, but it's like it hits like as soon as the piano or keyboard, whatever you were using. I want to say piano, but
yeah,
it started off and then it sounded like you were gonna go into like almost like a lack of a better way to say it, but like almost like a piano solo, like. But then it like stopped and it's just like, oh. I mean that little bit was good, but I was just like, oh man, he should have kept going with it because that was nice. but yeah, I think it was Unsettled Sweep that I really liked. It was either that one or Glimpse from the Past. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but Tessa, how about you?
For tracks that I like?
Yeah, there like a certain track that really sticks out to you.
Can you go back up to the, where is it? Where's the one, is it The Witching Hour?
The which one?
The Witching Hour?
Oh, from...
that's from The House in the Mist.
Yeah, House in the Mist.
Yeah, The Witching Hour was definitely one of my favorites. I personally loved it. I believe that's the CD that Paul showed me one day. He also showed me the Fairview Funeral Parlor one, too. But from what I've heard so far, I definitely really dig your music. I think it's great.
Thank you.
But The Witching Hour would be my personal favorite track.
Well, then you're on board with my kids. My daughters love that song. For whatever reason, they thought it reminded them of a castle. So, they always called it the castle song. So you know it as The Witching Hour, and my daughters know it as the castle song.
Okay.
I actually really resemble it to like Halloween or witches or like The Witching Hour, like spell casting and stuff like that. That's kind of like my thing for it. If you get if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you had to go back and redo an album, which one would you remake?
If I could remake one album. You know, I think this might be everybody's response. It would be the first one.
The House of the Mist.
I made it to sound really old school horror, so it was grimy, and I didn't use a lot of sophisticated sounds with it. But thinking back now, I think I could kind of clean it up, but still keep it for the old black and white, no sound horror flicks, and make it sound cooler.
Speaking of no sound horror, are you a fan of Nosferatu?
Absolutely.
All right, then.
Right on.
You're getting my
Nosferatu was actually one of the inspirations for The House in the Mist. The House in the Mist was written specifically for the silent horror films.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
That is cool. That is very cool. But I don't know. Would you redoing House of the Mist? I don't know. I mean, in my own opinion, I like the House of the Mist the way it is, just because of the fact that it's grungy. It's that old school sounding. I guess I'm more of like an old school guy. Because when I get into modern stuff, which, Grant, I'm going to have to ask you this too after we actually get done with your personal question. But I'll have a few more questions for you. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I would at least keep the House in the Mist the way it is. If anything, I would say, no offense, Grant, but Desolate Horror, I was just like, Unfortunately, like, I see what he was trying to do with it, but I'm like, to me, this is not Shadows. Like, there was something about Desolate Horror where I was just like, maybe there should have been more songs or something. I'm not really sure. So, That would be my own opinion.
Wait, for which one?
Desiree Horror.
Yeah.
I just felt like when I heard it, because that one's only has like 17 tracks, I think, compared to like House in the Mist, where it had like 21 or 22 tracks. I was just like, damn, like, did he run out of inspiration? Like, where's this 22 track CD?
I have a very simple answer for that.
Oh.
That was when I was going through my divorce, and that's why it sounds as somber as it does. And
okay, I'll let it go then. I'll let it slide.
Well, thanks.
You were dealing with your own personal stuff, so it's completely understandable. Everybody has those moments in life.
But yeah, Grant, please continue.
Well, as like I was writing the CD and I was going through it, and I was afraid to release that CD because it felt a little too melancholy and maybe not enough horror. And so I was getting to the final tracks, and I was like, "Shit, is this going to be, scary enough to use in haunted houses, or Shadows fans going to still like this?" And so I wrote it, and I got to a point, and I was like, "That's it. I'm just going to stop, and I'm going to clear my head for the number 7."
Nice.
And Desolate, it was pretty well received as far as the fans go, because I go to a few of the big conventions every year, and people are like, "Yeah, it was a little short, but I think it might be my favorite CD."
Yeah, I mean,
so it felt nice, and I knew, and I felt bad that it was shorter.
Well, like you said,
but I never want to write songs like as fill-in songs, so I wanted to keep it authentic, and that's what I had.
And that's understandable. Yeah, see, now I'll let that slide with you. So that's okay with me. But, yeah. I think even Tessa noticed that it seemed to be a little bit shorter, too, because, like, from House in the Mist going to, from House in the Mist, Beneath the Dark, and, the Forsaken Grandeur, those were, top-notch. I like, pretty much almost the entire CD. If not, having favorites here and there. But, House in the Mist, Beneath the Dark, I listened to that CD all the way through, because there's not one bad track, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
It's like a favorite of yours.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. Those two, anyway. Threshold, if I remember right, I do like that one, but I don't really know if I skip through any songs. Like I said, it's definitely been a while. And, but, everything you do, I can't really complain, so I'm not worried. It's just that one CD, but like I said, I forgive you, Grant. I now that I know the story, I will forgive you. So,
thank you.
Yeah, but what's exactly? So these next two questions are going to be interesting. So, I think it's your turn anyway, right?
I can do it. Have you thought about adding creepy or scary narrations to your tracks, like making a story with them?
There was actually a plan to write short stories to each of the CDs. I'm not sure if that's something that's still going to happen, but I did The House in the Mist, on top of everything that I've said about it, was written also because I had a dream about it was sort of a mansion where people were murdered and there were walls blocked off and there was a family killed and all that stuff, and people never knew that room existed until they started tearing it down. And there are, when I write, there is definitely a storyline behind it. It would be really cool if it would ever come to fruition with books. I'm not sure if it will or not.
Yeah, because I've always felt like sometimes when I listen to your stuff, it felt like there could be some type of creepy thing being said, or like either by a ghost or by like a pirate or something, just to make it more like alive, I guess I want to say. And I definitely think maybe Threshold of the Forgotten Souls. I think that would have been a good one to use, because maybe you could have used like certain type of moans to say to pretty much represent the Forgotten Souls, I guess is what I want to say. Baby, how about you? Did you ever feel like there could be any narration from what you listened to?
Pretty much what you've already said, like spirits or like moaning of ghosts, or like even like I don't know, like cat meowing or hissing or something in witching hour, or witch cackling or something, you know.
I do get to do that for the haunted attractions, because the ones that use my music also love the custom sound effects I do over top of it. So I actually, like, some of those that you're talking about do exist.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, then I need to see proof of this.
Well, one of the biggest haunts I do, there's one in Massachusetts, and there's one in Pennsylvania that I do like a ton of work for. There's people I work for all over, but Massachusetts, it might be Massachusetts, it might be Connecticut, I'm not sure. It's all a blur. But there are haunted attractions that do use my music, and they're like, can you please put this over this? And it's really cool having young daughters, because you automatically have little kid, you know, ghost laughter. Yep. And that's a lot of fun to record and put over the music and using the haunts.
And I bet your daughters have fun doing that anyway.
Oh, they love it. No, it's so much fun.
Oh, no, I bet. I can already, like, picture them, like, I don't know how you would do it, but for somebody like me, I would be like, okay, now I want you guys to start, like, going, ooh, like,
yeah,
really
like,
get into
it. Okay, we're not happy right now. You're in a bad mood. You're really sad. You know, it's all that.
Yeah, just let it out.
And they nail it.
Nice, very cool. That is cool. So we're getting near the end of the questions, unfortunately, but I hope you guys have enjoyed the interview so far. But
yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, I can tell you're having fun, Grant, just like we are. So I guess the question before last is, what are your top 5 favorite horror films or TV shows? Yep, that's
Under
right.
pressure.
Under pressure. Gotta love it.
Goddamn. All right.
Hey, you told me not to send you these so you could prepare yourself. So, yeah.
That is true. I love just
jumping
going with it.
Yep.
My number one, and it's not because it's good, because I know it's not, but my number one go-to is always going to be Friday the 13th. Love it. Halloween, that's number 2. I love all the old,
you just pretty
like
much
camp movies, man. Sleepaway Camp, that's a great one.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever, like, I like it and I don't, but I do overall like Cabin Fever. Jeepers Creepers, for sure. I don't know what it was about Jeepers Creepers. I saw that on the boardwalk when it first came out, and that movie freaked me out, and I loved it.
Well, did you hear that they are making Jeepers Creepers 3, right?
You know, I have seen teaser trailers that have been bullshit, but somebody told me that they are, in fact, making a 3rd, finally.
Yep.
So, I'm pretty excited about that.
And just so you know, Jason Voorhees is one of my horror icons. So that hurt my spot right there, Grant.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that?
Friday the 13th.
Jason Voorhees is Paul's favorite ultimate horror icon. He has Jason's mask tattooed on his left arm.
Oh, dude, my kids run around with Jason's mask on.
Well,
I love Friday the 13th because it is so good. But I know I also get knocked for saying I like Friday the 13th because people say it's corny and whatever they want to say about it.
Dude, you're safe with us. We love Friday the 13th.
Yeah, we love Friday the 13th, so you're good.
yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted to buy a cabin, and that's why Desolate Horror exists, and so...
Well, that's why,
good job, Friday the 13th.
Well, that's why, I helped back Friday the 13th, the game, to help make it happen, too. Because I was just like, we're going to be getting a Friday the 13th game that hasn't been made since 1989 or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to donate, $385 to make this game happen.
You donated to that?
Yep.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. I'm a huge fan of the original. I still have my original Nintendo.
That is
and
awesome.
I have yet to beat Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that game was intensely, wow. I don't really remember it that well, but the music, though, I still remember, that pixelated music or whatever you want to call it. That still is awesome.
Dude, that was my alarm clock to wake up for years.
See, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, you were saying Friday the 13th, Halloween, Jeepers Creepers,
Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp.
What's your last one?
Oh my god, I'm so bad with names. Like I said, I don't remember the names of my own songs. It's the one with Sam in it.
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a favorite of Paul's and mine too.
I just actually showed Tessa that movie last year because she'd never seen it, and she's like, I freaking love Sam. And then she's like, can we adopt Sam as our kid? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, why not?
That's so awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Trick or Treat is fucking amazing. I love all of Rob Zombie's films, obviously.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
You're so bad.
I know I am, but it's true. They killed Halloween. He killed Halloween for me. Goddamn bastard. Should have just left Halloween alone.
Oh, stop it.
I know.
Play nice.
I will. Okay. Yeah. His music, his stuff is so good. Yeah. All right.
Feel free to slap him through the phone, Grant.
Yeah, you can slap me through the phone if you want to. I don't care.
Well, the way I look at it is, it's the same thing as Friday the 13th. You know, Sean Carpenter. Was it Sean? No. Who was it? Who did the original Halloween?
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter did Halloween. Who did Friday the 13th? Sean Cunningham's.
Yeah.
Right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
I just love seeing the old school guys on film still. Even if it's butchered, it's still kind of cool to see them.
Okay, well, speaking of butchered films, not many people know this series, so I usually have to explain it a little bit. But have you ever heard of 8 Films to Die For? It's After Dark Horror Fest. After Dark Horror Fest.
Yeah, I actually have.
Anyway, they have a movie called. They have a movie on one of their series called Nightmare Man.
Okay.
That movie, I swear, you have to watch it when you're drunk and high at the same time, because otherwise you're gonna fall asleep.
The Nightmare Man. Yeah.
Yeah, the editing is, in my own opinion, sucks. I can still remember this one certain scene. So there's a part where this lady who was having really weird visions or whatever going on is running through the woods, or the husband is one or the other. Anyway, the point is, at one point you see this person running through the woods. Then you got this cabin in the woods type of deal where people are, like, having fun. Teenagers are, like, trying to play strip poker and all this jazz. But the worst editing I've ever seen is where one of the teenagers is unbuttoning their shirt, right? And then it cuts back to the person running in the woods, and then it cuts right back to that person unbuttoning the same exact button she just buttoned to begin with. Like, yeah, like, and what really shocks me is that it's a UK film, so I don't really want to bash UK too much, but come on, UK, you can do a little bit better with editing. But, like, that's what I mean, though. Like, that's like just one example I can give you with Nightmare Man. Like, just some of the editing is just really not there.
But I do have, speaking of the 8 films to die for, I do have one recommending film, if you haven't seen it, that I recommend that you do watch, and it's called The Grave Dancers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Grave Dancers is amazing.
Yeah,
it's the guy from Prison Break.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of mine and Paul's favorites. I freaking love it. What was another one?
So
The Remains
good.
or It Remains?
Wicked Little Things is another good one.
Yeah, Wicked Little Things is another good one. What was it? The Remains or It Remains or something like that?
What about the one with the actual cadavers?
Yeah, that's with the From Within, or what is?
Yeah, From Within.
I think it's called From Within.
That's what that is?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
I almost want to, like, get up and look at the horror collection, but...
Yeah, we got a pretty nice little... Well, not really too nice, because the guy from this day definitely beats our collection. But anyway, yeah, I want to say From Within, because From Within involved a book.
The
cadaver and, like, a book.
I think it's the... Yeah, let me take a look real quick.
All right. Well, yeah. So Tessa's going to go take a look for a minute, and unfortunately we'll get to the final question here in a second, but Grant, is there any horror figures too that inspire your work as well, like Nosferatu, like Children of the Corn per se?
From Within was...
Oh, hang on.
From Within was...
Babe, I don't think we're going to be able to hear you. From Within was what? Okay, right here. 8 films to die for. Those around 18-year-old Wednesday continue to die. Grisly death. Evil knows where you live.
That's not the one, no.
Death is catching. That's not the one?
Unrest.
Unrest, that's it. That is it.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, before I watched Unrest, the one thing that caught me of that movie is that they use real dead bodies, and I'm just like, what? I'm like, what?
Grave Dancers and Unrest were 2 of my favorites from that whole 8 films to die for.
Agreed. And they went on and did, 4 more afterwards. So I don't know if you knew that.
I knew that they were doing them, and I am so behind right now. You know, I shouldn't be, but I am.
Well, to make you feel better, they did stop doing After Dark for a while, and then they made After Dark Originals. And then...
Oh, okay.
And then last year, they brought back 8 films to die for.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm kind of behind now with 8 films to die for, so don't feel bad. Because at first, they actually released the new 8 films to die for only digital, and I'm like, ugh. I'd rather rent it, but not buy it, because I don't want to spend, whatever it was, $15-$20, and have it be crappy. Even though I bought in all the other films anyway. But speaking of films, are you into, foreign films at all? And what I mean by that is, are you able to watch a movie that has subtitles?
Absolutely.
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with one called Martyrs? It's a French movie.
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
I
think there was an Asian one, Shudder.
Oh my God, Shudder. Yep.
Okay, you know that one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, right?
Yeah, I love that movie. I think we have that one. Don't we?
Shudder?
Yeah, Shudder? Yeah, Steve? Yeah.
Yeah, some of the
Another movie that we're into is Aliens, of course. So yeah, we're into that.
Yeah. Hellraiser.
Yeah, Aliens, Hellraiser, Texas Chainsaw,
Evil Dead,
Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side. Yeah, Creep Show.
Yeah,
just to throw out there.
Classics.
The Exorcist, even The Thing. Yeah, Silent Hill, White Noise. Yeah. Like
so
I said.
Yeah, Silent Hill.
You know what? I don't have enough to fill the top 5, I guess. Because like Silent Hill is definitely up there, and
yeah.
Oh man, there's so many.
See? Yeah, exactly.
It's so hard to choose.
Yep, it is. It's very hard.
So hard. For TV shows, for me, one of the TV shows that I like is American Horror Story.
You know what? The only one I've ever seen was Freak Show, and I loved Freak Show.
You need to go back and you need to watch the first
The
two.
Murder House and Asylum.
Yeah, Asylum and The Covenant, right?
Okay.
No, Murder House is the first one.
Yeah, that one's okay.
But Asylum was good. Covenant was good.
I heard Stevie Nicks was in Covenant.
Yes. Stevie Nicks is in Covenant.
Yep.
I'm a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, so that was cool.
Yeah. I like Fleetwood Mac as well.
Covenant might actually remind you a little bit of your House in the Mist. A little bit, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like, if you watch it and then maybe go back and listen to that album, you might kind of see what I'm talking about. Because Covenant was more like a witch season.
Yeah.
Like a witchy season.
Right.
So, like, think of it as the House of the Mist having a story. Like, that, like, in a way, I guess. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Tessa's nodding. But yeah, I would recommend,
I said, mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we can hear you. Anyway, I'm pretty sure, Grant, too, if you want to, if you have Netflix, I'm pretty sure they're all on there.
Yep.
Okay, well.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can catch up.
You know what else is cool is Hatchet.
Oh, my God, yes. Yes.
All of the Hatchet films.
I haven't seen Hatchet 3, so I don't know if that's any good or if you would recommend it.
I've only seen 1 and 2.
Okay.
So we're in the same boat.
Okay.
So, have you seen Oculus?
Oculus?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, I love that movie.
Oculus is so good. You need to watch it.
I wonder if that's still on Netflix.
It's up there, too.
I know. I know I own it because I loved it.
Yeah. Oculus is great.
Yeah. Another one called The Awakening is really good. It's about this lady who's a paranormal investigator, and she gets called into, like, this school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she goes to figure out why this spirit is hanging around there. Because what it is they show each photo from, like, as the years went on. And each time you look at the photos, the girl in the pictures is, like, first she starts off inside the building, and then she's outside, like, standing next to the people outside.
Okay.
So they're so pretty much she's trying to figure out, like, who this person is and, like, what's her story. But that movie kind of dumbfounded me because I thought it was going to end, and it didn't end. I was like, wait, what? That's another movie I would recommend, is The Awakening besides Oculus, which that is really good. But, Grant, is there any movie that you've seen that you might want to throw out to us that we should watch, if we haven't already seen it?
If you haven't seen something called Damned by Dawn?
Nope.
I want to say that's from the UK. It's the most realistic-looking Grim Reaper kind of film that I've ever seen. I love Damned by Dawn. Definitely B-rated. Okay. But I like a lot of B-rated movies.
Yeah, me too. Like Suspiria and Inferno.
I don't even know those.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. You should check out Suspiria. Suspiria is old old
1980s or so.
It's good, though. It's really good.
Well, it's actually part of a trilogy.
Yes.
Which I actually own all 3 films. Yeah, it's about the 3 witch sisters. Like, each film is about one of the sisters. So, like...
Okay.
So, like, the first one is Suspiria, which I forget if that's the name of her or something or whatever. But then it goes Suspiria, Inferno, and then Mothers of Tears. Mother of Tears. And I'm just going to say... the effects in them, like, and we're talking the first 2 are like 1970, 1980s, and then Mother of Tears is like 2003.
Oh, okay.
So, quite a big difference with time loop here. But,
gotcha.
But, like, the blood in Suspiria, I think it is, when the lady got hung, that part makes me laugh, just because of the blood itself. It looked too pinkish, so I can't believe it. Yeah, but it's still a fun movie. So, but okay, so you said...
Damned by Dawn.
Damned by Dawn. Is there another one?
I think Damned by Dawn is probably the only... Dead Snow is awesome. I'm sure you've seen that.
I love Dead Snow. Dead Snow 2
and the
really
second
good.
one is pretty good.
Oh, man, what is that famous line that like, person trying to come out of the closet is that says, oh, man.
Oh, shit, I don't know.
Oh, don't kill me, like, I have cats or something like that. I don't remember what the hell he says. It was funny as hell, though. I was dying laughing. But, anyway, get to the point. So, one movie I will suggest to you, being foreign, is Martyrs. And I'm going to suggest that when you watch that...
that you don't have your children watching.
You do not have your children watching. And make sure, like, if you do have a female over or whatever...
warn her.
Yeah, warn her ahead of time.
She doesn't watch horror movies at all, so I'm on my own with that.
Well, then, good, because, I'm just going to let you watch it. And then if you do watch it, you can always get back to me and tell me what you think of it. Because when I first watched Martyrs, I actually told my own mother to shut up, because that's how into the movie I was. Because it was just like...
Gotcha.
Oi.
All I'm going to say is the first 10 minutes of the film pretty much set the whole vibe for the rest of the movie. Like, after the first 10 minutes, it does not let up until the very end. That's all I'm going to say.
Holy shit.
Like, just to give you a little taste, if you really want to watch it, and this usually makes people go, I need to watch this now. But it's, the beginning is these people are in their house, they're having breakfast, they're discussing their future plans, like this kid wants to go to college, this person wants to do whatever, yada yada yada. Next thing you know, there's a knock at the door. And like I tell everybody, as soon as that knock hits, you're not going to be moving from your seat, because you're going to be like, what the hell is going on? And
nice.
And the father gets up, goes to answer the door, and you know what's waiting for him at the door?
What's that?
A shotgun.
Nice.
Yeah. And we're not talking, like, really bad effects, though. Like, we're talking, like, you see the hole in the guy when the shotgun gets fired, and the guy gets thrown back from the blast. So he, like, yeah. It makes it look
very cool.
Yeah, so it makes it look really real. Which, another thing I'll add is, do you remember the Fangoria, the magazine?
Yeah, absolutely.
They had an article that stated one of the guys who was working on Martyrs actually committed suicide because he couldn't like deal with the fact of how realistic the gore looked.
Damn.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I was just like, okay, I really need to see why now.
Except there was Cannibal Holocaust, it sounds like.
Oh my God, Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie. That's an episode we gotta do one day. Cannibal Holocaust.
I'll have to watch it. You'll have to show it to me.
What's that, Grant?
That movie was just incredible. Like, I stopped it halfway through and just walked around the house, like, re-examining my life. I was like, holy shit, like, I don't think this is a snuff film. I think it's a movie.
Right? Yeah.
So real.
You heard about that, right? About Cannibal Holocaust?
You told me a little bit about it, yeah.
Well, I think Grant can tell you why we're saying about Cannibal Holocaust. It's because the guy who directed it, right, Grant?
Yep.
He actually went to court and had to prove that each one of the people that got killed in the film...
Oh, yeah, that it wasn't real.
Yeah, that it wasn't real.
It was fabricated.
Yep.
Because it looks so real.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
I was told he was actually jailed for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I was told he was jailed.
Yeah, I think he was until, like, they could find proof or something, or if he could, like, get a lawyer and have... It was some weird thing, yeah, but he did get jailed up from what I understood. So, yeah.
Yeah, that movie was mind-blowing.
Which I believe, if we still have it, it's Cannibal Holocaust is on Screenbox, I think.
Huh.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. Well, okay, unfortunately, we're at the last question, so do you want to do the last question? Fine, I'll do it.
I know you want to.
I don't really care who does it.
Yeah.
So, we've all been talking, I think, having a good time chatting anyway. But, yeah. So the last question for you, Grant, is has anything inspired you for Seven's film? Or Seven's album? Oh, God.
I'm talking about films and video.
Okay, we'll do a take two on this. Ready, set, okay,
Take two.
Action. All right, Grant.
Ready.
So has anything inspired you for Seven's album?
Absolutely not. All my albums have been... The first one I wanted to do because of the silent black and white horror films. And everything else I've done to not sound like Midnight Syndicate or Nox Arcana, because I didn't want to
sound like a rip-off.
Like I was ripping them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a knockoff of them.
Okay.
And so respecting them, I know some of them like to watch a lot of horror movies and stuff like that when they are writing a CD. For me, I don't do any of that. I literally write what's inside my head.
Right.
So nothing, literally nothing has inspired me. When I went to write Beneath the Dark, and I was on the beach, and I'm sitting there in jeans and a t-shirt and a laptop looking like a weirdo on the beach writing that CD, I started writing songs like I thought of Pirates of the Caribbean, or Caribbean as people say. And I was like, I can't write like haunted knockoffs of that. So I literally write everything from me. I don't get inspired by anything.
Okay. Well, maybe we can try to fix that.
Well, I mean, it seems to work because it seems more original if you're not listening to something or if you're not watching something.
Well, I'm not saying I know that from helps. That. I'm not saying from having to watch or listen to something. I'm saying like I know where you live, but I don't want to like say it if you don't want me to. But like you guys,
well, I don't care.
Oh well, you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I know you guys have a lot of ghost stories. So what I would say is, why not try to look up some of your own like urban legends, and maybe you could try to create something out of that.
Well, one that actually is in that vein is Gettysburg. I have always thought that Gettysburg would be an amazing soundtrack.
Ooh, yeah.
nobody's done that, and that's original, and that's from where I am.
Yep. I still want to visit that one day, too. I would love to visit Gettysburg.
I go there almost every year, do the ghost tours and all that.
Well, maybe one day we'll all have to, like, meet up at Gettysburg. Road trip, yeah. Or, Grant, if you would like, you can always come up to Vermont and we can show you around. Give you some ghostly tales there.
Sounds good to me.
Here's a good one. You're familiar with Massachusetts, wow, I'm having a freaking brain fart. Here we go. Bridgewater Triangle. You ever heard of that?
Nope.
Oh, man. There's actually a documentary on it. It's called Bridgewater Triangle Documentary. If you can find that, I would recommend purchasing it because it's really, really cool. So I'm going to kind of give you an idea of the Bridgewater Triangle. And then I'll explain to you why I'm mentioning it here for Vermont. But Bridgewater Triangle is based in Massachusetts. And if you look at a map of Massachusetts, it pretty much formed like a triangle. So that's around Bridgewater, Mass. And inside this triangle lies everything paranormal that you could, like, witness, pretty much, like, from what people have seen. Like, there's UFO sightings, there's, like, devil worshippers, there's ghosts, there's Bigfoot, there's, like, you know, anything paranormal you can think of is in this triangle.
Right on.
And pretty much Vermont has one of those. It's called the Bennington Triangle. So, yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. It's just like in a certain area, but it forms a triangle, and inside that triangle is where, like, paranormal activity happens. Like, I just showed Tessa the other day. I was telling her about urban legends around here in Vermont, and one of them I was telling her about was the Black Agus that we have here. But I'm not sure if you're familiar with that because it's not really well known, I want to say, but it is still creepy.
Yeah, it has three locations in three different states. One of them being here in Vermont, and it's a statue of
a goddess, is it right?
Yeah, there's a dark tale behind it. If you sit on this statue's lap, something horrible will happen to you. Like you'll die. And there's been three definitely confirmed deaths from this legend.
Yeah, like one person
drowned.
One person had a bad car accident.
Horrific car accident, and then another person died from falling.
Yeah, from falling. Who knows? Fell off what, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the statue isn't really, like, not creepy at all. Like, you know, like, sarcastically saying that. Like, it's not creepy at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not a woman. It's not a statue of a woman either. It's a statue It's a statue of a man.
It's a man, but it's
cloaked, like partially cloaked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly haunted by this lady who was mistreated.
Okay.
And like, there's a lot of things about it. Like, I guess, like, you might have to help me with this, but, like, the eyes were bloodshot or weak blood at, like, midnight or something?
They turn red.
Yeah, they turn red.
Which one?
It's the Burlington Haunted Tours, I think, and Inns or something, and Haunted Inns and Getaways, I think. It's right there by your finger. Yep. But yeah, Grant, if you ever need inspiration with stories, maybe, to, like, form a CD, just come my way, and I'll tell you, like, books to get. I'll be like, yeah,
there you go.
Get this book, man, and you're going to learn all about the history of Vermont. Like,
there you go, man.
like, we have an interesting one about the Eddy brothers. It's called. They work. So the rundown of this story is two brothers that were born. They ended up developing like these special. They were gifted. I mean, and they were gifted these supernatural powers. And because they were different, their own parents sold them to the circus, and they traveled around the world in the circus. And then once they got done with the circus, they came back here to Vermont, and they made their very own, like, Green Mountain Inn, I think it was called back then. But if you stayed the night there, they would give you shows. And
they'd perform for you.
They would perform for you. And it could have been a lot of different things. So, and the reason why I had to just correct myself about gifted is because I used to do paranormal investigation stuff, and I actually caught I have an EVP that Tessa can even confirm, because she heard it too, because I showed her it, and I have a man's voice, which I believe to be one of the Eddy brothers, correcting me when I'm trying to say, like, you develop supernatural powers, when a voice comes in and tries to say that they were gifted, is what I'm thinking is what they were trying to tell me. Or one of them was trying to. Got it. So, yeah. We have a lot of cool haunted stuff here in Vermont. But back to Black Agus. Black
Agus is located, one of the locations for it is located in the Green Mountain Cemetery in Montpelier, Vermont. Green Mountain is not your average old New England cemetery. It was established in 1854. It's a 35 acres, purchased for a bit more of $2,000. Our home to stunning variety of monuments. Visitors love carved images of Little Margaret, William Stowe's hand-carved stairs. One of the favorites is Loyal Ned the dog. Ghost hunters have been attracted by ghostly tales, like the story of a small girl who haunts the walkways of the old graveyard searching for her mother's final resting place. But wise travelers known to avoid too much interaction with one grave site and captivating statue of Black Agus, sometimes called Black Aggie. Black Agnes isn't really black. It isn't actually a woman. It's sculpted by Carl Bitter. The work of art is actually meant to be a figure of Santos, a minor figure in Greek mythology, and a demon who is death personified. The statue marks the grave of John Aratus Hubbard, who was born in 1847 and died in 1899, and he was a wealthy Montpelier businessman who pulled a fast one by thwarting his aunt's last will and testament, diverting her fortune to himself. It was a move that was raised the ear of the city of Montpelier intended beneficiary and forever tarnished his name in the process. The monument, which Hubbard commissioned, is said to be the source of bad luck or even death for the person foolish enough to mess with it. Consider the story of three teenagers who sat on Black Aggies during the full moon, trying to prove to one another how brave they were. They were feeling secure as they all drove home without incident, thinking they had escaped the curse. A week later, a boy fell, seriously fracturing his leg. Another was a victim of a fiery car crash, and the third drowned when his canoe overturned in a local river. But wait, there's more. Vermont isn't the only state with a Black Agus. There is a similar statue with similar stories in Chicago and another in the courtyard in Washington, D.C. A figure rumored to have caused pregnant women to miscarry is also blamed for the death of a college student. At the grave of General Felix Agus in Druid Ridge Cemetery in Pikesville, Maryland, there is another Black Aggie. Urban legend says that the statue is haunted by the spirit of a mistreated wife who lies beneath its feet. It's reported that sometimes the statue's eyes glow red at midnight, as with the statue in D.C. People say if you are pregnant and sit on her lap, you will miscarry. Some say if you sit on her lap, the statue will come to life and crush you in their stony embrace. And don't speak Black Aggie's name 3 times at midnight in front of a dark mirror unless you want the evil angel to appear and pull you down to hell.
And there's our urban legend of Black Aggie for you, Grant.
Damn.
Yep. So, yeah. But, unfortunately, I think that's really it that we have. Unless you have anything to add, Grant, for the interview. I mean, is there any type of urban legend that you've heard from Pennsylvania? Anything crazy?
I mean, I do a lot of the urban exploration and have a lot of fun with that, but nothing like that.
Well, we still got Gettysburg, though. I mean, that's a famous one right there, so...
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I would love to one day, go to Gettysburg and visit it one day, because I've seen pamphlets for it, and I'm just like, this place is taunting me. I want to go.
Oh, Gettysburg is amazing. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been to Salem in, years, and I was telling Tessa that I would love to go back there, so we're trying to plan to go to Salem, Massachusetts one year, too.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Salem?
Nope.
Do you want to? Is that one of your dreams?
Oh, dude, that's definitely a bucket list thing.
Nice. Yeah, another bucket list that we have is Stonehenge, all the way up in UK. We'd love to go there.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a nice little bucket list ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
very cool, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is all the questions I have. Is there anything you want to add, Tessa?
No, I don't have any questions to add.
Okay, well, I guess, Grant, is there anything you would like to ask us, or is there nothing that comes to mind?
Other than that, your urban legends sound awesome. It'd be great to come up to Vermont and check that out.
Oh,
We've got a bridge one, too.
Oh, yeah, Emily's Bridge.
Yeah, Emily's Bridge that you would probably find cool.
3 stories about that one, which I don't really stick to the other 2. I only stick to one of them because it just sounds right. And pretty much I can kind of give you a little bit of a rundown because, this is too big. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
How many pages is this? 1, 2, 3,
it's a big
4,
one.
5, 6.
Yeah,
it's 6 pages.
It's a big one, but give them, the rundown of it.
Yeah, I'll give them the rundown. So, Grant, the rundown of Emily's Bridge involved this girl named Emily, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it is said that back in the day, 1800s, I think it was, this girl wanted to get married to this guy, but the parents wouldn't allow it. So, they planned to meet at this bridge and run off together, pretty much. But Emily showed up at the bridge, and the guy never did. So, apparently the rumor is that she took her own life by hanging herself on the bridge, and she crossed the bridge. But if us males go to the bridge at night, supposedly the spirit of Emily will scratch us because she does not like men. If you try to park on the bridge and shut off your car, you cannot turn on your car anymore. If you also stop your car on the bridge and turn it off, it is known that if you listen very closely, you can hear Emily walking around your car and sometimes scratching your car.
We have a similar one to that with a bridge as well.
Do you?
Yep.
Do you know anything about that one?
I don't know a whole lot. I know I went down there one time and checked it out, but I did not have any experience like that.
Well, what from what you can recall, what is your bridge story?
My bridge story is kind of lame. It was just a basic girl getting killed and chopped up in a suitcase and left there at the bridge, and then somebody else, few years later, hung themselves at that bridge. And so our urban legend is that you can see that person hang themselves at some certain point. I'm not sure what it is. But we went down there, took a bunch of pictures and video and audio, and didn't get too much of anything.
Yeah, when we went, we got a lot of photos of interesting things. We actually got a ghostly figure of one that looks like a female in a white dress that is pointing like down the road that we came from, probably like warning us like we need to turn around and go.
Oh wow!
And because that's the way I kind of got out of it, because another thing I found when I was taking pictures is that, and I'm still trying to figure out how I was able to find it, but I guess I was just looking at the right place, and it just seemed like something was there. But in one of my pictures, I caught like a figure in the middle of the bridge. So I was like, what is this? So I zoomed in on the picture, and sure enough, there's like somebody standing in the middle of the bridge with like their face looking at me, like from the bridge, like looking like, you know, down by the bridge, like the bridge entrance and stuff. And it looks like a male. And this thing has to be like tall as hell too. Like he seems like a tall male violent spirit, because there's something wrong about this. Like I think that must be what Emily's spirit, I think, was trying to tell me, like why she was pointing down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you ever read anything about Emily's Bridge, it seems like nobody has ever mentioned about this male spirit that's there, which is odd. So, I don't know who this spirit is, like male-wise or what, so it was really interesting. And the only other thing weird to happen besides scratches on us is, so we're talking summertime when we went down, full moon. It had to have been like 80 degrees that day, and it has to be like almost 70-degree weather at night. We could see our breath. All three of us that went could see our breath.
Really?
Yep. I tried to get like documentation of it on video, but you could not see our breath on video. So I was just like kind of disappointed about that, because we could see our breath, and it was like 70-something degrees. That's just like, wow. Like, there's something here.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. But if you don't have anything else, Grant, I guess that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us and giving us an interview. I know this is something that Paul and I have really been looking forward to.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
And I'm pretty sure you just made his day, so.
Oh, every time we do an interview, it makes my day. It was just kind of random, because we were just playing Friday the 13th, and I looked down and there's your text, and I'm like, babe, you got an interview.
Very cool.
Yeah, so, but yeah, Grant, I do want to personally thank you, and thank you for creating your amazing Halloween music that I got to listen to every year, like around October, because it just wouldn't be the same without it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So,
yeah,
I mean, as me and Tessa here, we love Halloween too so much that like we still have Halloween decorations still up in our house.
Well, part of our apartment is.
My bad.
No, part of our apartment is Halloween themed. Like our kitchen is Halloween themed.
Very cool.
Yep.
It's funny because during this interview, I guess my youngest daughter heard me talking, and she came out wearing a Jason mask, and I took a picture. So I will definitely if you get pictures, I will send that to you.
I do get pictures.
All right. Well, then I will definitely send that to you right after we hang up.
All right. And Grant, like I tell everybody too, if you want to add us on Facebook, like our personal account to keep in touch, you're more than welcome to. If you have one, if not, then you can keep my number if you want to keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely.
I also want to say that if there's anything down the road that you ever want to talk about, to shoot us a message and we'll look into it. Like
if we do, when we go to do like our Halloween episode for like Michael Myers,
Friday the 13th stuff, you're more than welcome to join us as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, we're not bad people. We understand life is life, and that the podcast can come second no matter what the issue is. So we don't like to. I just want to throw out there to everybody, like, we don't want to throw down everybody's throat who interviews us, or we get an interview with, that you need to do it with us. No, we understand everybody has a life, so, and that's what should come first before you put our podcast in line, I think. But,
well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. But, yeah, Grant, once again, thank you again. And I guess for a final word is two things. Where can people find you if they wanted to learn more about Shadow Sympathy? And once again, like, are you ever going to start using your Instagram account again?
Probably not. I put like what 6 or 7 pictures up, and then I just kind of stopped.
Yep.
I don't know.
I enjoyed checking out those photos because I was just like, damn, these are pretty cool. So
yeah, I have a lot of pictures I can put up, but I don't know.
Okay, well, here's a personal question. Just because as much as I love your music, Grant, would you be willing to maybe make a cool intro for our podcast?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, now you just made my day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now you just made my day. Yeah, because I was just like, I would really like to have some type of creepy, cool music to have for our intro. So, and I'm just like, well, when we interview Grant, whenever that is, I'll have to ask him. So, yeah, you just made both our days.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, pressure's fucking on for me. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am so sorry. so sorry.
How darest you?
I am so fucking sorry. I don't know how many times. Fuck. Well, there goes that cool.
Yeah, no, I will start. I'm in the middle of a bunch of sound effects for haunts for this season, but I will definitely try to work on something.
Like I said, just take your time. It's life. I understand. I mean, it's not like I need it tomorrow. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was kind of asking about, like, if you would like to have music for the beginning and ending of this. But, yeah, before I get too carried away, let's do what I was going to have you do. So, Grant, yes, if you would like people to find Shadow Sympathy and keep up with you on Shadow Sympathy, where can people find you?
iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, all your main sites. You know, we're up on Facebook. You know, I don't even know. I'm not that tech savvy, but I know we're out there.
Well, yeah, just go to Google, like everybody does nowadays, I bet, and just type in Shadow Sympathy, and then you're going to find out a link. There you go.
That's it.
Easier said and done, I guess. All right, yeah, Grant. So, once again, I want to thank you personally. And, Grant, yeah, I mean, like Tessa and I will say, you're welcome back anytime. And, Grant, I don't know if you've ever listened to our episodes, but how we end our episode is usually say, stay scary. So, on the count of 3, let's all say, stay scary at the same time.
We say what?
Stay scary.
Stay scary. Got it.
Stay scary. So on the count of 3, let's all try this out. All right. 1, 2, 3. Stay
scary.